What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we are going to be looking at a bunch of different altcoins and cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin, XRP, Stellar Lumens, and some others. We're also going to be talking about the very interesting movement that is happening right now within these cryptocurrencies. We're starting to see stagnation within these markets, and when we see stagnation and sideways trading, it usually develops patterns that could ultimately make or break the market in regards to the following pump. So we are going to be looking at those movements because I do think they're critical. I also wanted to discuss with you guys a very interesting article that I found in regards to basically how the SEC's filing against the XRP Ripple lawsuit will affect, cryptocurrency, will affect XRP specifically, especially for those that live within the United States. I feel like this plays a much bigger impact on our investments into XRP than any other country. So definitely make sure, if you are interested in learning about this, learning about the prediction that I do have to say, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up as this does help support the YouTube algorithm. Make sure to follow me on Twitter at CryptoVOfficial. This way, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can DM me over there. Otherwise, let's jump right into today's episode. All right, guys, now before we jump into today's article and this episode right now, I just wanted to come on and say, so I'm thinking about doing something a little bit differently. Basically, as you guys know, we've been talking about XLM for quite some time, and I've been thinking about switching it up. There are so many other cryptocurrencies, and so many of you guys have had questions about other cryptocurrencies, and it's been so hard to cover as these videos go extremely long if we keep adding cryptos. So what I've decided to do is I will pick one random person, shout them out here on the channel when they comment the cryptocurrency that they would like and the reason behind it in the comments down below. So if you want to be, shouted out in tomorrow's episode, make sure to comment the cryptocurrency that you want me to review in the comments down below, reason why, and if you're lucky, I'll pick on you and we'll do the review and analysis with the explanation that you had in the comments down below. Otherwise, to jump into today's episode. So I found this article very interesting. I thought I would share it with you guys, but this basically talks about how will SEC complaint affect banks' relationship with Ripple. So obviously we have to consider the two positions that this can have. Obviously, one is about the main cryptocurrency, prices. The main XRP price may be affected in regards to these movements. We've seen it when it first came out, but now that the news is out, we have to see whether or not this is going to continuously impact the price of, XRP, or is it just going to affect the banking industry within XRP's company? Is it just going to affect corporate, or is this going to come down and affect us? So that's something we have to discuss about. So as you guys can see, it talks about how will the SEC complaint affect banks' relationships with Ripple. And I think it's going to have a pretty interesting effect that not many people really understand or realize. So what I thought was the most interesting is obviously it talks about, according to the SEC, Ripple executives had sold 14.6 billion units of XRP, more than 1.38 billion to fund the company's operations and acquire personal wealth without registering their offers and sales of XRP with the SEC. That's very interesting, especially within the United States. Those actions broke several security laws that the complaint says. So what's interesting too is when you scroll down, this is something you guys have to consider. Obviously, XRP, Bitcoin, and XRP Ripple has wanted to partner with big banks within the United States and all over the world for very long periods of time. And a lot of their popular news that came out was due to the fact that they had partnered with different banks. So the fact now that the SEC is filing a major lawsuit with this company is going to ultimately impact where the coin wants to head to, especially when U.S. banks are now steering clear of XRP and don't want to have anything to do with this. Money is going to obviously leave, XRP. Now, obviously, Ripple has, their defense to it, but that's pretty much the main focus of this, is the fact that now banks are going to be, steering clear of XRP. So all this hard work XRP had built up for the cryptocurrency itself is now going to vanish. And that's something that is going to affect the prices specifically within the United States. So now that we have this news, people like to buy the rumor, sell the news. I think the news is out. people sold off, prices have dropped as we saw, and now we're kind of stuck right now. So if there is no further standings and no further big impacts of news coming from the SEC about Ripple, this price shouldn't be affected that much. It shouldn't be manipulated as much as it could be. So with that knowledge, if we continue to consider that, I do believe that XRP is going to start, and this is the prediction, it's going to start to trade very similar to these other cryptocurrencies, especially within the prices that we're starting to see now and the movements that we're starting to see now. So to jump straight into the technical analysis, you can see right now within the top 10 cryptocurrencies, we're pretty much at a consolidation point. We're really just trading sideways at a standstill. We're not really seeing much movements. And I feel like a lot of you guys are having this question right now is, are we going to be heading up higher? Was my positions that I bought into valid? Are we going to, see potentially a retest of $40,000 within Bitcoin, or is that it? And are we going to come back down to 25,000? People are really curious and really want to know the answer. Are we expecting to see higher highs, or are we going to see this correction and pull to the downside? So really, to jump right into this technical analysis, as you guys can see, pretty much everything is just flatlined out. We're not really seeing any major movements. But when we look at these cryptocurrencies, and I want to flash by them real quick, you can see some very interesting prices and some very interesting patterns forming. So within XLM, really quickly, you can see just this general pattern. I want to just look at these other cryptocurrencies: XRP, Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, and obviously the S&P 500, which is totally indifferent. But really what is very interesting to notice is the way these altcoins are kind of trending. Litecoin to Bitcoin, Bitcoin to Ethereum. They're all very similar in the way their prices are moving. And I believe that we even see XLM thrown into that mix as well. XRP is still slightly different, but we do have to consider the fact that these coins really look like there is a major possibility of correction to the downside. We've discussed this in the past, and I want to continue discussing this very soon. As for XRP, XRP clearly has some sort of resistance. There's clearly some sort of sideways channel that's trading within here. You can see that there's a clear-cut top. 30 cents is the resistance for this coin. Support is clearly being withheld at 25 cents. We saw a major dip below, which managed to wick right back up, which was very nice to see. So these are pretty much the bottoms for these coins. The lowest it's ever gone to as all-time lows was, 17 cents, 18 cents. I don't think the market is going to allow itself to dip below that. I think there's still a huge, market for XRP, and there's still a bunch of people that are invested into this, that I don't think it will ever dip below 18 cents, especially not now. There's too much hype around cryptocurrency. So ultimately, with the downtrend and the correction, the fact that we've been just trading out sideways, slowly retesting the bottom support, there is opportunity for potential breaks to the upside. But ultimately, with the way the rest of the market is trading to, in regards to short-term analysis, I wouldn't be surprised if we honestly see a dip a little bit lower. So consider shorting this pattern all the way back down to 23 cents, as it seems like that's where the price really wants to head to. But obviously, we're not going to know until either, support or resistances are broken. Now, what's very interesting too is looking at these other cryptocurrencies, and I do believe XRP is going to affect these, is in regards to the uptrends that these coins are forming. Ethereum has a beautiful uptrend. There's a clear all-time high at 1353, let's say, on the 4-hour, and you can clearly see the uptrend where prices have been retested before. What's interesting to note is some of these have been broken. Bitcoin's has been broken. Litecoin has been broken. And ultimately, they've pretty much just been retesting 4-hour moving averages, and they really don't look that hot. It really appears like these coins want to divert back downwards, especially now that we've retested resistances at the top. We're not able to break through them and have, immediately corrected back down. So when you look at XLM here as well, you can see XLM was extremely overextended on the daily, and you can see the moving averages on the daily charts really show that the coin wants to correct back down. We can zoom into the past, we can look back in price, and we really don't see prior movements up to this level, especially on Coinbase within XLM. We do have bottom supports much lower at 20 cents, but due to the fact that we broke through, a very, very, very strong support level, it really shows the coin wants to pull back down and wants to head much lower. And with that comes these other cryptocurrencies probably following pursuit. The fact that we have this massive, pattern broken, the fact that we're hanging on by a thread to this 4-hour moving average does not look too hot within this crypto. It really does not look that too hot within XLM or any of the other ones. Ethereum is getting very close to its 4-hour moving average. Bitcoin broke below its 4-hour moving average, and Litecoin is retesting below its 4-hour moving average as well. So these coins look like they want to correct downwards. And I feel like a lot of you guys haven't saw what I drew yesterday or the days before, so this is for the new people that really have not yet learned how to do this. Basically, you can just get a understanding of how these patterns look. So just check this out. This is basically the 2020-2021 break to the upside. You can see the very beautiful, bullish pattern, the swing to the upside. We retest 41,000, and now we slowly correct lower. We had uptrends that really did not withstand any sort of pattern here. They didn't hold out, and they ultimately dipped below here. That's usually how these uptrends go. They're just not that strong. They're fairly weak, and correction usually happens very soon after. After we retest resistance here, this was the last straw. If we were able to close above here, correct back up, there's a good chance we would retest $40,000 and see a higher pump to the upside. That didn't happen, unfortunately, so there was a good chance of correction. That's exactly what happened, and this came down to a more stable area where we have this ascending fractal form right here. We're probably going to be retesting support here, but I wouldn't be surprised now if in the next couple of days, if not weeks, we start to see a flip to the downside. That's the main worry. As you guys know, we've been setting lower highs, and that is within its own a bearish trend. Lower highs from here. We started at $40,400, pulled back down to $39,400, then pulled down to $33,300. These are lower highs that are becoming, and that's something we have to consider. Now, we did close below the prior low, and that's something we also have to consider as well. The fact that we broke below our higher low is something that isn't necessarily a bullish movement. This is considered bearish, guys. We broke below the prior low. This is a start to what could be a bearish downtrend, and we have to consider that this might be the end to those higher prices for what could be a couple of months, maybe even a couple of years. I know it's, unfortunate. No, I don't want to say that. I know a lot of people are still big believers in the coin heading up much higher, but we just have to play it out how it is. And there's a good chance that this could be the end for a short period of time for the coin. Well, this could be just like very similar patterns that we've seen back in 2017, so on and so forth. Like I said, to show you guys the movements, we go to the bars pattern right here. We can grab what has happened, and we can then apply this to very similar trends that have happened in the past. This one being the biggest right now. You can see the very similar patterns that we're seeing. Let's just adjust this right here. Just like that. Make this a little smaller. All right, just like here. So you can see right now what I'm referring to. We can jump back to the daily. So what I've done right now is just pulled the daily chart back in 2017, and I've applied those patterns over what we're seeing currently right now within 2020. From 2017 to 2020, you can see the places that we've had. I've drawn it out right here, clear as day. And you can see ultimately the pattern that we saw back in 2017 was a slow run to the upside. We were starting to grab onto support, and then we immediately bursted up in price. That is exactly what has happened right now. We had a major correction to the upside, and then it was more like a staircase down. So we took the elevator up and then a staircase back down to the downside. You can see that's the exact pattern that's forming right now as what happened in 2017. We had slow patterns where we shot back up. Right here, we fell to the downside, we shot back up, fell to the downside, shot back up. It's very similar to what's happening now, but in hindsight, it ultimately was continuing to head lower. We were no longer setting higher highs, but we were ultimately setting higher lows, and that was within itself a bear market and a correction to the downside. So be very consistent with the way you trade. This is more of the long-term analysis for what we could be seeing in the next couple of weeks, in the next couple of months. Obviously, there is this beautiful support that really is holding out very well. I mean, I wasn't aware of this back a couple of days ago, but I pretty much zoomed in on this and was able to figure out that there's a beautiful uptrend in regards to 4-hour support. We have an uptrend where prices are retesting this once over, twice over, 3 times over. So it really doesn't show, that well that we've broken through prior lows. But if this one does get broken and we do break through the $31,000 resistance, support, then it's pretty much fair game that we're probably going to continue to head lower and continue to pull back down to the downside. Otherwise, guys, that's pretty much going to wrap up today's video. If you are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up as this does help support the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.